All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So, today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to go over the curve lines for red, green, Luffy, odd, even, and then the kill lines and defensive maneuvers. People have been asking me a lot about this in the comments, and I wanted to get something visual up on screen so that you guys could see it in a little more structured format so that we can go over it real quick so that you guys can kind of get a handle on what it is in case you need a cheat sheet to really see what I'm talking about when I'm talking about my curve lines. These curve lines are my personal preference. You guys can do different things. This works with the way I built my deck and how I'm running it right now. This is going to change as soon as we get some new cards. It's going to change if your deck looks a little bit different, but this is a good base for you guys to really get used to what I'm talking about. So let's get started and let me know what you guys think. All right. On one Dawn, our best play is always going to be a searcher. We're going to go looking for any of our pieces. When you play a searcher, you're going to be looking for the pieces you see on screen in the order that they're played. We'll go over that and I'll switch back to this. It doesn't matter which one of these you play. A good searcher is what you're aiming for. Generally, if you have a Nami in hand, I would play the Nami first because the Nami can't search Nami, but it can search one card deeper if you're looking for very key pieces. On 3 Dawn, I really do like playing the Laboon because there are a lot of decks that have a lot of removal around right now. If you don't know what the other deck does, if you don't know the general way that their deck is being built with the leader they're playing, play this out of an abundance of caution. It's fine for you to give up a 2k to ensure that your board's going to survive. So on 3, you're going to play this for 1. If you don't need it or you don't have it, you can fall back and play another searcher. That's good as well. And you're going to, again, try and find these in the order you see them on screen. This is going to be your big protection because this deck really does struggle with board removal, especially against Gravity Blade. Losing 2 of our 6-cost or less characters is pretty debilitating for this deck. It will put us way behind. So we need to make sure that we keep our board. That's one of the biggest keys of this deck. All right, on 5 Dawn, the best play is always going to be Sanji. Play him for 5, restand 2, 1 at the end of the turn, 1 underneath your leader, attack for 6. If you don't think they're going to have any pressure because you know the deck you're playing against, and you know the ideal thing they're going to do is play a 4-cost character, and they're only going to be able to swing 5 at you, swing 7 at them. That way they can't get out of the swing easy. And then you can have 1 Dawn up at the end of the turn for defense using your Sanji ability, and they'll have had to take a 7k swing. And you don't have any characters to defend yet because nothing's turned sideways, so there's no reason to worry about your board getting removed. You're okay to take a hit. I'd say I personally okay to take a hit all the way down to 2 life. That's when you want to start protecting a little harder. But anything for those first 2 is fine. They'll help you find more of your pieces. The deck really does well on curve, so we'll keep going over that. The alternative is always going to be an Usopp. You want to play, if you don't have any of this, you want to put 1 Dawn underneath leader, swing 6 before you play this, because there are a lot of triggers that are going to try and kill this. So we're going to make sure that we swing our 6, make sure they don't have a trigger, then we play this for 4, restand 2 Dawn, and we pass. On 7, our ideal play is going to be this Luffy for 6, and then we will probably swing after that if we don't have this, but if we can, the ideal maneuver here is this plus this. So we're going to want to swing 6 with our leader, 7 with the Sanji, ideally, or swing 5 and then 6 with your leader. And then you're going to want to play this guy down for 6, restand 4, play this guy with the remaining 4. And if you've got the 2 of these, it's fine if you swung with this on the previous turn because these 2 generate 9k counter. 2, 4, so yeah, 9k with these guys. Or you can swing with this, and if you have this combo, you'll only have 3 Dawn up, but it's fine because this is a bigger body. So these protect each other in the same way. So these are free to swing on that turn. I doubt you're going to get removed as long as your opponent has anything to play that turn. But this is your ideal play. This into this. The other option to fall back onto is either just this, if you can, or this if you have no other choice. This is what you want to develop on 6, because on our next curve, I'll show you the best play is on 9 Dawn. Our best play is always going to be double Sanji, because you can play him for 5, restand 2, play another 1 and restand another 2, and have 3 Dawn left, which is crazy strong. Because then you can divide up those Dawn amongst any of these characters you played in the previous turns and go for real big numbers. And if you've got 4 7k bodies on board at that point, your opponent is going to be under a lot of pressure really, really fast. There's not a lot they could do about it. The other option is to go Sanji first, restand 3 Dawn, and then with your 6 remaining Dawn, immediately play this, and then use those remaining 4 Dawn to divide out. You can leave up as few Dawn as you need to. I would leave up in the later turns no less than 3 Dawn. You can leave up 3 Dawn as long as you got a little bit of counter in hand, you're fine. But if your opponent pivots to board, you want to be careful there, because they're going to start developing larger characters. Our deck doesn't tend to develop massive characters. But these 7s are detrimental to our opponent, so they're good enough. On our first 10 Dawn turn, let me get out of your guys' way here. Jump over to the other side of the screen. On our first 10 Dawn turn, I'd say our best option is probably this Zoro, just because we do want to get a 9k body on field as quickly as possible. But if our opponent is likely to play, if they don't have anything with 8,000 power on board yet, because they didn't play with the thing on their first 10 Dawn turn, it's fine to hold this for a turn, but this is where we have to start making decisions. Do we think we're going to get pressured with a lot of big attacks really fast? Then we need to get this down if they're going to have like 5 mid-level attacks at us. Or if they're just going to have a couple of giant levels, we're going to go into the alternate line. This is our play, though, if they have got a 8k character on board and something sideways that we can poke it with, because this is a really good board removal to follow up with all these 7k swings. The alternate line, if they've got like really big guys that we need to worry about, is to go, if we have the space on our board, I'd like to go Luffy for 2 Dawn, this for 4, and this for 3. That's a 9 Dawn total for this combo, and then 1 underneath leader. That makes it so that we can develop another double attacker, knock 2 of their guys down, freeze 2 of those guys, and on the following turn, likely they'll have a goodbye big enough that we can justify playing this. We are okay to lose the blocker on the crackback, dealing with one of those big swings, as long as it doesn't take out, as long as we get value out of the Dawn that we stood up. I just want to make sure that we don't lose our blocker over nothing, because if we have the blocker on board, we likely don't need this, and we can just divide Dawn up and attack. But this is where we get some value in. Now that we've frozen 2 of the little guys, use this to kill one of those little guys, and then be a big leader and use your Dawn restand from the previous turns in order to insulate yourself from some damage. After that, we're going to start looking at probably some lethal lines, and we'll go over those in just a sec. All right, the even Dawn curve lines. So this is what our curve line kind of looks like on the 2 Dawn curve line. On 2 Dawn curve, you're going to get hit more than you are on your odd Dawn curve. That's why we like odd Dawn right now. So on 2 Dawn turn, I'm fine with playing one of these, or 2 of them. If you have 2 searchers, play them both. That makes it so that you can really set your hand up, because on 2 Dawn, you really need to curve out appropriately, just so that we can make sure that because we lost our dice roll, we need to really take advantage. I'm okay with taking a hit on that first crackback turn. If we have a 2k in hand of any type, it's okay to give it up so that we can avoid an attack, because we're going to take one on our 4 Dawn turn as well. So once you've played both those, you're looking for the curve line in this order. And then after that, we're going to keep on trucking into our alternate turn line. On 4 Dawn, I like to just attack them for 5 most of the time, and then play the Usopp, just so that I have a guy on board that's going to generate me value. And after that, I just am going to restand 2 Dawn, and I won't have leader ability on, because I won't have anything underneath my leader. But it's okay. When they attack back, they're probably going to attack for 6 or 7. If they only attack for 6 and you have a 2k, give it to them. Staying healthy is fine. I also don't mind taking a hit, though, if I'm missing any of my pieces. I want to go down to 2 so that I'd rather go down to 2 and find my pieces than defend out with a 2k and miss getting some of the more important characters. That's the trade-off, always. On 6 Dawn, the best play is a Luffy. because you can't play multiple Luffy in the same turn. You just want to get him on board as fast as you can. I don't want to go Luffy into Usopp. I want to go Luffy or Sanji. I did skip over this, though. Laboon is an alternate play on 4. If you're missing the Usopp, you just don't have it, play the Laboon for 1, put 1 Dawn underneath leader, and leave 2 Dawn up. Getting your anti-removal here or here is fine. On 6, if you play the Luffy and you have the Laboon, go Luffy into Laboon. That's a really good option for you. Because you're not going to be able to go Luffy into Usopp. You don't want to take 3 hits and go down to 1 or 0 if your opponent sees that you're really weak and they can divide up their Dawn between whatever character they played last turn. You do not want to risk that. So Luffy into Laboon's a good option, or Sanji into Laboon, also a good option if you didn't play it on this 4 Dawn turn line. But you want to get one of these 7k bodies out on your 6 Dawn turn because it's what's going to keep you in the game. I like this because this is us playing catch-up, because normally we would have a Sanji on board already. So on our 6 Dawn turn, I want to play this because the double attack, connecting it, will catch us back up to where we're supposed to be in the mid-game. On 8 Dawn turn, the God play, the thing that you're looking for, the best maneuver you could possibly do, it's not close, is double Sanji. Play this for 3, you'll have 5 left, play this for 3, restand 2 Dawn, put 1 or 2 under your leader, depending on if you have an Usopp. If you missed Usopp, you're only going to put 1 Dawn under leader and attack for 6. If you've got 2 of them and you got this up on board, you'll get 4 Dawn back and you're back in the game. Attack for 7, and probably don't swing this because he's going to be vulnerable. Then if you don't find these 2, the other option is to either play this or this. Getting a Luffy into another Usopp is pretty good too. But if you had the option of going this last turn, you likely went this instead. So if you have 2 of these, you just save it for the 8 Dawn turn. But if you missed it, you'll have played it on the previous turn because you'll have only had 1 in your hand, and that's fine. So you're going to look something more like this. Usopp into Sanji into these 2. That's an okay play line. The best play line is right here at the top, though. 1, 4, 6, 8. That's what you're going to go for. This is all right. It's just not quite as good. On your first 10 Dawn turn here, because we're on 10 Dawn, we're likely going to need a little pressure back. This is assuming that we don't have a huge play line. If we lost an Usopp for some reason or lost any of our bodies, we only have 5 slots, so we might be able to get this out. If we have a slot for 2 characters, I love going Monkey D. Luffy into Nami into I Know You're Strong, because this develops our other double attack, catching us back up to the game again. This will drop down 2 of their guys, and this will freeze them, getting some pressure off, and opening up a slot for our main attacker to equalize the board. If we don't have room for this, or if we don't have this combination, or if at least the Nami into the I Know You're Strong, an equally good option is the Rono Zoro. As long as you have a couple of Dawn to restand, you're good. You can even just play this on straight up 10, put 1 underneath leader, swing, hopefully hit one of their dudes. That's what I'm always aiming for. That's where you get the value out of this. Look for opportunities to attack 9 into like 5s or 6s to remove their midboard. After that, you're pretty much solid, because you'll have some Dawn to restand. I like to go 7s first because they know these are going to attack 7s. This is always a surprise that you want to play after you've swung the 7s, because if you go something like 7, 7, 7 at them, and then you pop this out, they just had to defend against 3 7k swings, and they were hoping they would have to defend lighter, which means they probably don't have the counter or defense power to stop this from taking their character. And then your leader is going to become a 7, and 1 Dawn underneath it means you're at least attacking for an 8 with your leader. So 9 with this, and then 8 or 9 with your leader, depending on how much Dawn. Whoa. Depending on how much Dawn you have to restand. It makes it a really good play. Just getting me out of your guys' way. On your second 10 Dawn turn, I would really recommend the Zoro if you need a little more defense again. chaining these together makes your board really scary, and it makes you really hard to hit. The other option is Shanks, and Shanks is basically there if your board's been getting removed, or if you just need a really big body. Some of these leaders these days can just stay big. I'm thinking of like Red Yellow Jewelry Bonnie, or like the new Ace, or Red Blue Ace. You just need to be able to get something big down. Play him for 10. You can't play cards after that, but that's fine. Put 5 Dawn spread across your characters. Swing as heavy as you can, and then have 5 Dawn for defense. All right, that's the even Dawn curve. Let me know if you guys got any questions. We're going to go over to our lethal lines now. All right, on our lethal push, I've made up a nice little table for you guys. Hopefully this is nice and simplified. We'll go over it, though. On our 10 Dawn turn, when we're pushing for lethal, if we've been having our board removed multiple times, that's why we've teched Shanks into the list. Board removal is really detrimental to our list. So if we don't have a bunch of Dawn restand, this is why this is in the deck. Purple and L is the biggest proponent of this, so we need to make sure if we're playing Purple and L, this is a great comeback mechanic. We like it a lot. If we're going for lethal and they have no life because we've been pressuring them with 7s the whole time, if we've got one of these in our hand, perfect. Swing out with your leader, a bunch of your characters, and then play this and put use 2 Dawn to play them out. Make one of your 7Ks unblockable, and then stack all 8 Dawn onto that 7K and swing 15 at their face with unblockable. Most decks don't have enough counter power to deal with that. If they've got blockers and Dawn, this is the tool you're looking for. Dead Man's Game. Demonic Astra 9 Swords style Dead Man's Game. Play this for 4, rest down the blocker and the Dawn. That turns one of the cards in their hand into a brick because it's going to make it so they don't have the Dawn to play it, and it'll get the blocker out of your way. Then you can swing your whole board, dividing up your numbers equally, swinging low to high most of the time. You want to swing odd numbers into odd number leaders, so 7s into 5s and 8s into 6s. That way, that's how you swing at your opponent's leader when you've played this. If they've got blockers and life, this Luffy is my option. It's the starter deck 30 Luffy. Blockers plus a life, and you don't have quite enough board, that's perfect. We're going to play him for 4, rest a 5th Dawn so that he's got rush, put 1 underneath him, attack for 7, and rest whatever blockers in our way so that we can get a life, and then start swinging the rest of our 7s at him. He has to be the first swing, though, because you don't want to let him get any value out of those blockers before you start going. If they've got a Dawn and a blocker plus a life, that's where you have to have Brook. Brook is your answer to the Dawn plus the extra life. If they've got too many life for your board to deal with, but their hand's small enough, perfect. We're going to use our Brook resting their Dawn or their 1 blocker if they've got that instead. And they've got an extra life. We'll attack for our 7s really hard, and then we can attack 9s with our Brook. Hopefully we have one of our 7-cost Zoros, put a bunch of Dawn there, the remaining 4, so we can swing 13k at their life 2 times. Because you can swing 13, pop the Brook, restand that Zoro, swing 13 again, they probably die. So this is just a pretty good table of showing you what all our tech options are for and what problems they solve for us. I hope this has been a pretty good explanation and breakdown of the deck. The only thing I didn't show in here was Charleston, and that's really just played when needed to defend either your life from dying or your board from being removed. Remember, your board's always more important than your life. Your life is a resource. Your board is a win condition. Don't play not to lose, play to win. It's okay to drop to 0 as long as they can't finish you off, because your board is likely going to be big enough to get them on the crackback. All right, I think that's all I got for you guys, though. I hope you guys like this. I hope you appreciate it. This was actually a fair amount of work. I'm not super good with all the photoshopping, and I wasn't sure quite how to break this down, so I hope you guys like this. If you need some more clarification, let me know. If you do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. That's awesome. We hit over 400 today. That's super cool. But you guys always know me. More important than any subscription number is commenting and telling me what you guys want to see. This was something that the comments were asking for. It's why I built it. It's why I took the time to make a video and break it down. I wanted it to be what you guys wanted it to be. because I'm making this show for you guys, and I'm doing it so that I can learn some stuff along the way. I want to build a really strong community with you guys so that we can learn and grow together. I think that's all I got. So there you go. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Keep killing it. Have fun out there. All right, later.